In previous slides, we have discussed about the different kind of CPU scheduling. CPU scheduling, we know that there are four types of CPU scheduling. First come, first serve. That shortest job first. Shortest job first, we have studied preemptive as well as non-preemptive scheduling. And after that, we have studied about priority-driven scheduling. And next, today we are going to discuss about round-robin CPU scheduling. As we know that all algorithms, they have some advantage and disadvantage. So the drawback of the previous algorithm, that priority-driven scheduling, is the starvation. Means the higher priority jobs or the processes always execute, and the lower priority process will never get the resources. So this is called starvation. So though aging is one solution for the starvation. In terms of approach, that round robin scheduling is one approach, in that each and every process will get equal share of the processor or the resources. So today we are going to discuss about round robin CPU scheduling. You can have a look on this slide that in this round robin scheduling, what happened, that will remove the problem of, that overcome the problem of starvation. Star means will distribute the processor time in equal manner. How? Each process will get a small unit of CPU time, that is called time quantum, or you can say time slice also. So normally it is between 10 to 100 milliseconds. Whenever the time of this time quantum is elapsed, this process is preempted and added to the end of ready queue. Okay, so one process having the burst time is about 100 units, and one is having 10 units. So that process which is having smallest burst time, or the small burst time, has to not wait for that until the execution of 100 milliseconds of one. So we'll give you the suitable example also. So in this, if there are n processes in the ready queue and the time quantum is q, then each process gets 1 by n of the CPU time. Okay, in real-time systems, we are using this scheduling algorithm. No process waits more than n minus 1 into q time units. Okay, we need one timer that will interrupt every quantum to execute or schedule next process. But the thing is, in this, the selection of time quantum is a challenge, that is an area of research. That if the time quantum is, the value of time slice is very large, then this round robin scheduling will become FCFS, because we are assigning equal share to all the processes in first come first basis only. The approach will be first come first basis. So if the time quantum, the value of time quantum will be very high, then in that case, that round robin scheduling will become the first come first serve scheduling that we have already discussed. Then there will be no use of this round robin scheduling. And if in the case of, if the value of time slice or time quantum will be very small, in that case the overhead will be increased. How? The number of context switches will be increased, and automatically the overhead will be increased for the system. You can have the look on this example, that we have three processes, 20 their burst time is 24, 3 and 3. So how we'll prepare the Gantt chart? The chart is prepared that initially will the time quantum what we have assumed here, this assumption, this is given to you, that assumption is time quantum is 4. Okay, so initially all processes are ready to execute or available in the ready queue, as we have assumed the arrival time of all the processes are 0. So in ready queue at time instant 0, all the processes are available, but we have assigned to P1 only. Why? Because we are doing according to first come first serve. So in 4 we have allotted, though the execution time of P1 is 24 units, but we have allotted this to up to 4 units only. After that, there is a preemption. This is called preemption or context switch. Okay, we have preempted P1 process and we have allotted the processor to P2 process. Okay, so this P2 is allocated, that at time instant 4 we have allotted, though P2 and P3 both are there, but we have followed FCFS manner, first come first serve. Okay, so P2 we have allocated after, because execution time of P2 is 3 unit, though the value of time quantum is 4, but the execution time is 3 only, so 4 plus 3 is 7, and now at time 7 will allocate the processor to process P3. And this now 0 to 10 the round 1 is over. Okay, this is called round 1. In round 1 we have executed P1, P2, P3, all the processes. So execution of P2 and P3 is over because their value of execution time is smaller than the time quantum. Now we have only P1 process in the queue. So this will not happen that will just 20 units of bus time is left, and we'll just allocate the 20 units to all together in a sequence to that from 10 to 10 plus 20 directly 30 it will happen. No. After 4 units, again the timer will expire. Okay. At 10, second round is started. So here we'll allocate first P1. So P1 10 plus 4 is 14 because 4 is the time quantum. Okay, now there is no other process. So again at 14 we'll check if there will be another processes, then in that case we can assign that processor to another processes also. But here only P1 process is there in the queue. So after 4 unit, that 14 plus 18 again P1, 14 to 18, and 18 again P1 is there, so 18 plus 4 is 22, for 22 plus 4 is 26, and 26 plus 4 is 30. You can match that 24 plus 30 plus 3 is total is 30 only. So this matches. So here you can say that the number of context switches are here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 context switches are there in round robin scheduling. Okay, so and round, how many rounds are there? In one round, P1, P2, P3. Second round, third round, 4 and 5th, and total 6 rounds are there, and the execution of processes are over as per this. Okay, but you can have the look on another process scheduling, that another example of RR scheduling. So you can have the example of that. This one is the example. You can take this example. The data you can take, that arrival time is given, execution time is given. Okay, this arrival of P0, P1, P2, P3 is given, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and their execution time is given. So you'll just have look on this slide. Okay, what we have assumed the time quantum as 3. Okay, so what happened? P0 is arrived at time instant 0. So initially we have allotted this processor to P0. Will execute in FCFS manner only. So P0, P1, P2, P3. One round is over at time instant 12. Okay, 3 units we have assigned. After in second round, you can have that the execution time of P1 is 3. So it's over in first round itself. In second round, we can have that P0 is there. So P0, 2 unit is pending because 3 plus 2 is 5. So P0's execution time is 5. So P0 we have executed here. After that P1 no need because it's executed in first round itself. The turn of P2. So P2 3 unit we have assigned, and then P3. Again you can check the data. P3's execution time is 6 only. So in 3 plus 3, so P3 is over here. Second round is over here at time instant 20. For the third round, only P2 process is left because P2's execution time is 8. Okay, 6 is over, and only that 2 unit are left. So you can see that 20 plus 2. So in 3 rounds, the example is over. You can check that how we can calculate the waiting time. Waiting time we can calculate that if you will have a look on this P0 process. P0 is initially allotted as time instant 0. The arrival time of P0 is 0 itself. Okay. So what you can check that here waiting time of P0 is 0 minus 0, because 0 at this 0 instant we have allotted. Again you have a look at 12 instance, so service time is 12, that start time is 12, and how long he has this process has waited? 12 minus 3. Okay, this time 12 minus 3, so this 9 is waiting time for this. Okay, similarly for P1 we can check. P1 arrival time is 1 unit. Okay, and service time is 3. Okay, you can the start time of P1 is 3. Okay, so 3 minus 1 is 2, so this is the waiting time. Similarly we can calculate for P2 also. P2 is similarly P2 is here at 3 places P2 is given, and P2's arrival time is 2. So 6 minus 2 initially, after that 14 minus 9, and 20 minus 17. Okay, 20 minus 17. This is 12 is the waiting time. Similarly, we have calculated the waiting time for that P3 process also. So now the thing is, the problem is over here, that round robin scheduling problem we have overcome from the problem of starvation. There is no starvation. But the thing is, how we can select the time quantum and fix the context switches. So this is the survey of that if the time will take the time quantum too long, that here we have considered the process time as 10, okay, and time quantum as 12. So here context switch is 0. If we'll take quantum as 6, then one context switch is there. If we will take time quantum 1, then 9 context switches are there. So the context number of context switches are depend on the time quantum. So selection of time quantum, normally the median or medium, the execution time medium number we are taking, so that the performance of round robin scheduling will be improved, because this all kind of performance is based on this time selection of time quantum. So I hope this, because if the time quantum will be too long, then it will become first come first basis. There will be no use of RR. So we'll just have a smart time selection, so that the performance of round robin scheduling will be good. Okay, I hope this round robin scheduling is clear to all the students and the target audience. Thank you.